What 3 features sold me on this beast of a backpack from 511? Stay tuned to find out. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. So earlier this fall, I switched it up and changed what I'm using for my hunting pack. And I looked all over the market for various different backpacks and features. And I ended up settling on this, the 511 Rush 2.0 72 model. And this is the largest in their Rush series of backpacks. So there's the Rush 12, the Rush 24, and the Rush 72. So this is the biggest one in that series. And this is a 55-liter pack. So you might be wondering, well, then what's the 12, 24, and 72? So that's actually like a hypothetical how many hours you could use for that pack. So obviously the 12 would be like a 12-hour day pack, the 24 an overnight, and then this would be like the 72-hour 3-day pack. So it is the biggest one in the lineup. It weighs just about 5 pounds empty, so it is a big pack, but that's part of what I was looking for. Obviously now with kids hunting, and we're going into the blinds, it seems like I'm bringing more stuff all the time. So I was really looking for a pack that gave me a lot of pockets, a lot of options, and ultimately a lot of capacity. So that's why we ended up on this one. So as we look at this pack, this is the Multicam option. I think it retails for about $285. I'll drop a link to that down in the description. I picked this up on Black Friday for $228. So if you watch, you can get some sales there. They do have some other color options. So there's like a black, coyote tan, and an olive drab green, as well as like a dark gray option. Those are a little bit less expensive, I think for around $150 to $170. But the Multicam is the only camo option available, and obviously Multicam has like a licensing associated with it. That's why it was a little bit more expensive. But great bags. As we look at this, this is a 1000D nylon, and it's a water repellent nylon. This bag has got Molle loops all over it. It's got it on the main outside part of it. We got it on the side pockets. Even got some loops on the bottom, so if you wanted to attach another bedroll or different pack, you got those Molle loops all over it. So we are going to go over what 3 features about this specific pack were ultimately what sold me on it, because there were 3 very specific features that checked the boxes for me on this pack for what I needed out of a hunting pack. So let's get started. The very first one is this right here. This big open pocket here. This is what they call it, like the shove-it compartment. And this is unique to the largest, or the Rush 72 model. This is not available on the 12 or 24. So it's got this shove-it compartment, and it's kind of contained by these compression straps here. So you can pop those compression straps open and get this even farther open. So this works well for a multitude of different purposes. So maybe you've got some wet shoes or something that you don't want to shove in the main compartment. Boom, you can just shove it right here in this shove-it compartment. Maybe you got a hooded sweatshirt, rain jacket, or even like a big bulky parka. There's plenty of room to shove that in here. And then you can tighten things down with the compression straps to make sure that doesn't go anywhere. So that was one of the main features that really sold me on this pack, was that shove-it compartment. But furthermore, what I have been using it for was for this, the Starlink Mini. So if you watched one of our earlier videos this fall, I'll throw a link to it, is we've been taking the Starlink Mini to the deer blind on those all-day sits and stuff. It's really nice to have that portable internet. And that's one of the great things about these Starlinks, is how portable they are. And I can just shove that in my pack here. I've got a battery pack that goes with it, but I can take everything I need. If I decide that day that, hey, I want to bring the Starlink with me, I can put it in this shove-it compartment, and I don't have to reorganize the rest of the bag. The other thing is too, a lot of times I have a big magnetic mount that attaches to this. There's no way I was going to fit that in the main compartment of the bag along with everything else I need to take. But this shove-it compartment, that mount can stick out the top of the bag, and I don't have to worry about attaching it with any kind of straps or anything. I can just shove that in that compartment, and we're good to go for the day. So that was feature number 1 that I really, really liked about this bag. Number 2, or actually as we move on here, I'm gonna go through some of the features on the pack kind of from top to bottom, and we'll get to number 2 here in a minute. But as we move down, or up here rather, I am gonna show you this first compartment, this first big pouch on the front. It has got a number of pockets in here. We got a mesh pocket up top. We got another, this is actually a pretty deep pocket. It goes all the way down into there. We got some organization in here, an open pouch. We got room for some pens and pencils, like a keychain loop. Even on the flap here, we've got a mesh pocket there. So we got a lot of options on that front part of the shove-it compartment. And you notice too, we've got some Velcro Molle loops there. So if you're into putting morale patches or whatever on your bags, you can certainly do that. And then as we move on, another behind the shove-it compartment here, you can kind of see this hidden pocket here. This is actually for concealed carry. So it's a Velcro closure, and this is a really deep pocket. I mean, I'm up to my elbow there. This goes the full length of the bag, but that's ultimately designed for concealed carry. So I grabbed a pistol here to kind of demonstrate. We can shove a really large pistol in there, and I think it's even designed, it's got some Velcro attachment in there. So if you want to keep your holster in there, or keep your pistol in your holster, you can fit the whole thing in this kind of concealed carry compartment. So nice feature. That's new to the Rush 2.0 series, I believe, is that concealed carry compartment. Moving on up the bag, we've got another smaller compartment up top here. And this is just a little bit smaller pouch, but what I like about this is that it's small enough that you can dedicate it to 1 or 2 items. So for me, you know, I'm a bow hunter, so the release, this is definitely one thing you don't want to forget at home, and you don't want to lose it in the bottom of your bag. So a lot of times when you're getting up in the tree in the dark, this can be tough to find. So I like keeping my release in that pouch. That way I always know where my release is at. I don't have to go digging and find it. But maybe you want to keep like a headlamp. So, you know, like this pencil headlamp fits nicely in there. That way, again, if you're in the dark, you always know where to find your flashlight. It's not sitting clear down here at the bottom of the bag. You know where your light's at. You can dedicate pockets to these various different items. So as we move on here, I'm gonna go ahead and open these compression straps. I got them open on that side already. I'm gonna pop these open on this side. And then we're gonna open up and kind of show the main compartment of the bag here. So these zippers are good quality zippers. They open and close easy enough. And then one of the kind of highlights of this series of pack is that centerline clamshell design. We can open this pack wide open, lay it flat, and have access to everything we need. And you'll immediately see where we get the capacity on this bag. Again, 55 liters, and most of that's coming from this main compartment here. We've got room for all sorts of stuff. One of the things new in the Rush 2.0 series of this bags is this padded laptop sleeve. So we've got that in here. So if you wanted to bring your electronics with you, you could. It also works well. I've found I keep like my binoculars and rangefinder in there. That way they've got a little bit more padding and aren't quite as loose in the main compartment. But even on the flap, similar to the one on the outer part, we've got some compartments on the flap as well. We've got a nice mid-sized mesh pocket there, a little bit larger one down here, and then another closed up pocket here, but you can fit lots of different things in here. Keep it separated so you don't have everything just bouncing around here in the main compartment. And you might have noticed this flap in the main compartment, that's actually another pocket that we're going to show you next. Let me close up the main compartment and then we'll stand this bag up so you can see it. This is what they call their media compartment. So up here by the grab handle, there's another zippered compartment here. And this is, like I said, this is a fleece lined, what they call media compartment. The idea being, you can put your cell phone in there, close that up, then you always know where it's at. Maybe you want to put your billfold, your keys. You can even put sunglasses in there so you don't have to worry anything about scratching the lens. But it's a nice pocket up there that, again, you can keep these items separate, not have things loose. So as we go to the sides, you notice we've got these long, deep pockets on both sides of the bag. I'll open that up. You can fit a lot of things in here. So again, it works well for those longer items. So I've got like a Gerber folding saw, maybe your knife. You can fit those in there. Again, those longer items work well in there. Then you know exactly where they're at. Another thing that these side pockets are really popular for is for storing a water bottle. So if you've got, this is a Camelback, this is a 40-ounce water bottle. So a lot of the water bottles out there are either like 20 or 32 ounces. This is one of the bigger ones, and I brought that so we could demonstrate how easily this fits in here, even with that loop on there on the top of the lid, there is plenty of room for a large water bottle in these packs. Again, so you could put 2 of those and carry, 80 ounces of water with you right there just on the sides of the pack. But if you are one of the people that like the hydration systems, this pack does have a purpose-built pouch right on the back for hydration systems. So if we open this up, you can see in here we've got a nice compartment right against your back where you want that extra weight, where you can put a 2-liter water bladder. It's got a loop up here so we can keep it upright, and then it's even got the little cutout so we can feed the tube through. So if you like the hydration systems, 511's got you covered on that. And while we're on the back of the pack, we will highlight what my number 2 favorite feature is about this bag, and that is the straps back here. So I like the contoured shoulder straps. We got a sternum strap. That way you can keep everything tight against your chest. It's not sagging. But what really sold me on this was the ability to do this. We can hide our hip belts. So obviously a pack this large, it's a good idea to use the hip belt if you've got it really loaded down. It helps distribute that weight down on your hips where it makes it easier. You're not carrying it all on your shoulders and back. But I really like this feature that they built in these pockets on the back. So if you want to, you can hide your hip belt. So if you're not a hip belt person and you don't like these flaps in your way, you can just fold this up and tuck that right into that pocket. And then that hip belt is hidden away and not in your way. So for me, if I'm gonna be hunting in the tree stand a lot, like in the early season bow hunting, where I'm gonna be hanging this bag on a hook in the tree, a lot of the bags that have those hip belts, it gets caught up on the tree and it doesn't want to hang quite right. I like being able to, tuck those in. Plus then if you're kind of want to just one arm it around like that, you don't have to worry about those hip belts getting in your way. So that was the number 2 feature that I liked, was that you can hide those hip belts if you want. I do really like that. And then lastly, the third and final feature that I really like about these 511 Rush Series bags is, and it has to do with the Molle straps. So they put all of these on here for a purpose, and they have their Rush tier system. And the idea behind that is if this bag isn't enough capacity or enough pockets for you, you can buy accessory bags that are Molle compatible and hook them on anywhere on this backpack that you want and have additional capacity. So you could add something to the bottom of the bag and attach it there, or add a small pouch out here to the front. And you might be going, geez Louise, why on earth would you need more storage capacity than what this bag offers? And I had one very specific reason why I like that feature, which is why it was our third and final favorite feature of this backpack, was because for us, we archery hunt, rifle hunt, and black powder muzzleload hunt. And obviously with archery, I don't have to carry a lot besides my bow and my release. But when we get to, the late season, December, when we're doing black powder and muzzleloader season, if you've ever done black powder hunting, you know how much stuff you have to bring with you to the field to do black powder hunting. That's why they call them possibles bags, because of all the different possible things that you need with you when you're black powder hunting. So what I did was, instead of having all my black powder stuff loose or in one specific pocket or another, because I don't necessarily need that with me all season, I only need it with me during black powder season, is I bought this little Molle compatible pouch that during black powder season, so as soon as it rolls around, I can attach this to the front of this backpack. Then I've got my black powder stuff with me and I know exactly this has everything I need. It's not mixed in with the other stuff. So this pouch, this is not a 511 branded pouch. They have a lot of different options. I found this one on Amazon for about $24. I'll drop a link in the description. The reason I like this one fit my needs well for my black powder accessories. So when you open this up, it's kind of got a center divider here, but on this side, I can put my extra black powder pellets. And then on this side, we've got all sorts of different things. We've got a primer removal tool, a cleaning jag. I've got some lube and some extra bullets, primers, powder. There is, again, if you've ever black powder hunted, you end up with a lot of stuff you got to take to the field. So I like that I can keep this separate from everything else. Again, once black powder season's over, I can take that off and then I'm back to my pack as the way it was. So in summary, that was a look at the 511 Rush 2.0 72 backpack, the big pack, but it is working extremely well. I use this most of the fall and have really, grown to like it. It's been a good fit for me for a lot of reasons, but those 3 reasons were the 3 main reasons that sold me on this backpack. If you like this video, consider hitting like and subscribe to our channel as well, and stay tuned for more from Husker Hunting.